My first donation was probably when I was very young in church, and in the time when they did the collection, my parents would gather some money, and they would give all of us money, and we would put it in the collection plate. But as a young person, there were other kinds of gifts that I gave. There were gifts of more than just money. There were gifts of time. I remember one of the most meaningful and perhaps memorable gifts I gave was a gift of time when I was asked by a neighbor to come across the street every day to visit with a man who was 80 years old, and he was a large man but wasn't able to put on his socks. So I was asked to come over every morning and put on his socks. It wasn't always a pleasant activity, but if I didn't put on his socks, his feet would be cold all day long. So it was a different kind of gift. It was a gift of time and a gift of talent, I guess. I could do something that he couldn't do. I've been motivated to give the things that make the greatest difference in the world that are consistent with my values. And one of the values I think I hold true is the concept of philanthropy, which I define as the love of humankind. And so one of the things I give to I give to a foundation that supports fundraising, actually. And I see fundraising as a tool of philanthropy. So I give money to do research in philanthropy. I give money to train and teach and educate people in fundraising and how to do it well, to do it ethically. And it is a cause that I think is the most important to me, because I think that philanthropy is a global language. I think philanthropy is a universal language. I think philanthropy is a love of humankind is the only language of the world and behavior of the world that belongs to the world. It doesn't belong to any nation, to any country, any religion, any belief system. It is a global belief system that belongs to all the world, and I believe philanthropy is the thing that can unite the world unlike anything else. Mm-hmm. That's the cause I believe in, and that's the one I've given the most money to. Yeah. I think all of us who give want to make a better world for other people, to leave the world a better place after we go, a better place than we found. And so for me, I want to make a difference. I want to bring change to the world. I want that change to be positive for other people, and I want the change to live on after I'm gone. For me, I think a good donor is two things. One is a person who gives according to their values, so they give to something that they're very passionate about. And secondly, I think it's really important that a donor get joy out of giving, that there be some joy and satisfaction of doing what they're doing. I don't think it would be very much fun to grudgingly give money or give gifts or give time. Here's a grudging gift. Please enjoy it. A good donor has to be good for themselves, as well as good for the cause that they're supporting. What makes me trust an organization is if I have a relationship with it. A relationship is made up of three things. It's made up of a willingness to take a risk. That's based on trust. I won't risk unless I trust. And I won't risk or put money in relationships I'm not willing to risk or trust. And the other is transparency, openness. And in a personal relationship, that's called self-disclosure. In a corporate relationship, that's called transparency. Organization I trust is an organization I have a relationship with, because I'm willing to take risk, I'm willing to trust, and there's transparency, there's openness, there's honesty, there's integrity. Mm-hmm. After I make a gift, the information I want to get is I want to be thanked. I remember once in my life I received a phone call from an organization I gave money to. And they called me after I gave them a good amount of money, and they, I thought, oh, they're calling because they want more money. And I waited on the, and I was waiting on the phone, and I was waiting on the phone, and when are they going to ask? When are they going to ask? And they didn't. They only called to say thank you. It is the only time in my life that somebody called to say thank you. Yes, you can do letters, but they took the time to pick up the phone and to call and to say thank you. It's the only time it's ever happened to me, and I will never forget it. So what do I need when I give a gift? I need a thank you. And I'd rather have a personal thank you than any other kind. The second thing I need when I get a gift is I need to know where that money went and how it was spent. And what's interesting, because based on the relationship I have with the organization or the person I give a gift to, the higher the trust, the less amount of information. The lower the trust, the more information I want. So there's a definite relationship between the information I need and want and the degree of trust I have in the organization and the nature of the relationship I have. So I need two things. I need information, depending on the relationship, more or less. I need a thank you. I don't like people asking for money just for the sake of asking for money. If they don't take the time to do that personally, I disregard the ask. I get letters all the time in the mail. They go in the garbage. If somebody comes and asks me for support, or sends me a letter and say I want to ask you for support, I do nothing until they pick up the phone and they call me personally. If you want money from me personally, you should have the courage to come and ask me for it. And with reason, and with understanding what my values are, my principles are. I often get phone calls and asking for money, and I just say no. If I wanted money from somebody, I would go and see them personally. I would take time to get to know them. I would want to understand them and what their values are, and then I would ask them if they would be interested. So I expect the same. To change the world. Change the world one person at a time, one act of kindness at a time. And change the world is not to change the whole world. You know, we can only change the world one little piece at a time. So every day I get out of bed and I go to work and I try to change the world just one little bit at a time. And if we all do that, we will create a better world for everybody. That's why I'm a donor.